Hello everybody, I got a little book haul. I mean, compared to what I've been hauling lately, it is little. There's 7 books. So let's get started. They came from 3 different sources. The first 2 I picked up today actually, on my way home from shopping. We had to go to the grocery, yay. And I stopped by the little free library just to see what they had. I forgot to take the books I was going to drop off. Which I haven't done an unhaul video, but there's only like 3 or 4 books, so I didn't think it was enough to do a whole video. Anyway, enough of that. I picked up a love-inspired suspense called Murder Mix-Up. I don't know, the cover intrigues me, with the crime scene and everything. His brother was the intended victim, now someone's after him in this Secret Service agent story. After a man is killed while carrying his brother's Navy ID, Secret Service agent Declan Stringer is determined to figure out why, even if it turns a killer's sights on him. But first he must convince NCIS agent Portia Finch to partner with him on the case. As attraction sparks between them, Portia knows she's on dangerous ground because Declan is hiding deadly secrets. Ooh. Okay, so I'm a big fan of NCIS, or at least I was when Polly Perrette was still on. I haven't watched it in quite a while, but thought that one sounded alright. And then I picked up Her Royal Spyness Solves Her First Case, a mystery by Rhys Bowen, Agatha and Anthony Award-winning author. I have seen this one mentioned before. It comes up in my feed all the time on Goodreads. What's it about? My ridiculously long name is Lady Victoria Georgiana Charlotte Eugenie, daughter to the Duke of Glengarry and Rannoch. And I am, as they say, flat broke. Aren't we all? Oh, what's this? Stuff falling out of it. Never know what you're going to find when you pick up a book out of the little free library. A girl of my standing, that is 34th in line for the throne, is good for only a few things. Perfecting my curtsy, hosting fetes, and marrying into a noble family for the ever-so-romantic reason of securing allies. Yes, isn't that super romantic? But my brother Binky, cut off my meager allowance, so I bolted from Scotland in a marriage to Prince Siegfried of Romania, and headed to London, where I have A, worked behind a Harrods cosmetics counter for all of 5 hours before getting sacked, B, built a fire in the hearth entirely on my own, thank you very much, C, started to fall for a minor royal who's Catholic, Irish, and unsuitable in every way, D, made a few quid housekeeping, incognita of course, and E, been personally summoned by the Queen herself to spy on her playboy son. Less than thrilled with this last bit, I'm wondering what to do when an arrogant Frenchman who, coincidentally enough, is trying to swipe the estate that's been in my family for 800 years, winds up dead in my bathtub. Now my new job is to clear my very long family name. Okay, yes, this sounds like it'll be fun. Oh, I didn't realize the author appears to be a woman. Every time I've seen the name Reese, spelled like this, it's been a male. So that's a nice, pleasant surprise. Okay, so what fell out? A Christmas card. Merry Christmas, Rita, 2020. Wishing you peace for the holidays. Merry Christmas. God bless you from Dorothy, apartment B3. I don't know, the picture is pretty. Maybe I can use it in crafting or something. I haven't done crafts in a while. I ought to do that. Oh, this is a review review for Her Royal Spinus. And of course it's like, the way it's cut off, it's cutting out half the words, but that's okay. MysteryGuild.com. I guess that's where this is coming from. A couple other books by the same author. One by Joel Churchill, one by Caleb Carr. Caleb Carr's the one that did The Alienist, I think, which I have and never read. I bought it when it first came out a long time ago. It's an older book. Didn't it get made into a TV show or something? I don't know. Linda Howard, Mary Jane Clark. I was thinking Mary Higgins Clark when I read Mary Jane Clark, and I know they're different people, but whatever. Okay, the next 4. Those 2 were Little Free Library. These 4 came out of the freebie box at the library. The actual library, not the Little Free Library. This one is called One Bite Stand by Nina Bangs. A vampire book. I have a thing about vampires. Leisure Paranormal Romance. I have a fairly decent collection of vampire-related books, but they're upstairs in a bookcase that I can't get to at the moment, so... But I don't remember this one. Let's see here. He's a big bad vampire. She loves the light knife. Is it a match made in heaven, or are they heading straight for Hades? Harpies don't get callbacks. That's why Daria's job as night manager of the Woo Woo Inn. The Woo Woo Inn is the opportunity of several lifetimes. Where better to prove that in this snatch and dispatch business she has CEO potential? So what if she doesn't really fit the corporate image? So what if she has to nurture her inner bitch to compete? And triple so what if she'd rather take Declan McKenzie to bed than on a one-way, all-expense-paid trip to Tartarus? Wait a minute. That's 2 books I picked up with Declan as the male lead. His sexy blue eyes and hard male body lure her into deep and dangerous erotic waters. With a monster-eating guest for its midnight snack, cosmic troublemakers cooking up I don't know, there's ink or something splotted on it. It's hard to see. I think it says chaos. And Declan making serious moves on her. This looks like a lot more than a one-bite stand. That sounds fun. The Woo Woo Inn. Seriously? Okay, another vampire book. Good Vampires Go to Heaven. A Deadly Angels book by Sandra Hill. Is this a series? Don't miss these other Deadly Angel books, and it's showing like 4 other ones. Do I need to read them in order? Because I only have this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books listed, including this one. Well, hell. It was the only one in this series that was in the box. Okay. Sandra Hill continues her sexy Deadly Angel series with a good demon who must finally get his Vangel wings? Vangel? It's a V with angel. Angel with a V? Whatever. When he was bad. 2,000-year-old vampire demon Zeb is supposed to spend eternity turning mortal sinners into bad guy Lucifyers like himself. Lucifyer? That way, they can grow their numbers and fight the vampire angels known as Vangels. Vangels? I'm going with Vangels so that makes it rhyme. But Zeb is a bad boy in a good way, secretly working as a double agent for none other than Saint Michael the Archangel in hopes of one day earning his wings. Problem is, Zeb's betrayal is discovered. Hello, Demon Dungeon. He was very bad. Until Regina, a foxy, flame-haired Vangel witch, on a rescue mission, busts out Zeb along with 3 oddball Lucifire witches. Hello, temptation. But together, they were very good. Their escape unleashes a war to defeat all Vangels forevermore. In an epic madcap battle between good and evil, a demon just might earn his wings and spend eternity with the Vangel of his wildest dreams. I'm feeling like I probably need to read the other 8 books before this one. Vampire demons and vampire angels battling it out. Okay. I picked up The Dark Hours by Michael Connelly. It's a Renee Ballard and Harry Bosch novel. There's chaos in Hollywood on New Year's Eve. Working her graveyard shift, LAPD detective Renee Ballard seeks shelter at the end of the countdown to wait out the traditional rain of lead as hundreds of revelers shoot their guns into the air. When reports start to roll in of shattered windshields and other damage, Ballard is called to a scene where a hard-working auto shop owner has been fatally hit by a bullet in the middle of a crowded street party. It doesn't take long for Ballard to determine that the deadly bullet could not have fallen from the sky. Ballard's investigation leads her to look into another unsolved murder, a case at one time worked by Detective Harry Bosch. Ballard and Bosch team up once again to find out where the old and new cases intersect. All the while, they must look over their shoulders. The killer, who has stayed undetected for so long, knows they are coming after him. So how far into the series is this one? But I think these you can read out of order. I don't know about the vampire angel thing. It's only showing 3 others pictured here. What about in the back? No list in the back. I think these you can get by with reading them out of order. So there's that one. And there is, I picked this one up because it's a Newbery Award winner, Invincible Louisa by Cornelia Meggs. And I'm still working on reading the Newbery books. I've got a couple over on the shelf I need to read. I have read a few so far this year, like 5 or 6. And I'm trying to gear up for November so I can read some more and call it Newbery November. I didn't do so well with Newbery November last year. This is a biography of Louisa May Alcott. This particular edition was issued for the 100th anniversary of the publication of Little Women. Here she is acting in her own play in the barn behind the Alcott home, teaching small children, writing stories for Emerson's daughter, nursing Union soldiers during the Civil War, visiting Europe as a companion to an invalid girl, meeting Laurie in Switzerland. It's got Laurie in quotes, so I guess they're referring to the inspiration for the character in Little Women. Then she writes Little Women to help support the family, and its success brings her fame and makes her universally beloved. She also wrote some, I don't know if they would qualify as horror, but kind of gruesome and ghost stories and stuff. But you never hear about those. I want to read those. Little Women was fine. It wasn't my favorite, but then I also read it when I was in my 40s, and it's not for 40-somethings. And then this one I actually bought from Amazon because my library doesn't carry this series. I'm going to beg them to get the rest of them because I can't afford to buy all of them. But they are so much fun. Eventually I do want to get them. If anybody would be so inclined. Just kidding. I don't expect anybody to buy books for me, but I mean, that's totally up to you. They are on my Amazon wish list. This is the 13-story treehouse by Andy Griffiths and Terry Denton. I don't even know where to start. This book was so funny. I was laughing so hard. It's geared toward, I don't know, maybe 4th graders, 3rd, 4th grade, something like that. I wouldn't call it a graphic novel because, there's sections like this where it's just illustrated, but then there are sections like this where it looks more like a comic. And then there are pages that have so much on them. I just don't know how anybody can handle reading it. You do hear the sarcasm in my voice, yeah? Absolute sarcasm. Pages like this. And this. And this. My God, I'm reading the book to you. As you can see. And this. And this. Then there's some that are just pictures. There's so much stuff going on in here. The one dude, Terry, because the characters' names are Andy and Terry. They got so creative there. Andy is the writer and Terry is the illustrator. They're trying to write a book. And they live in this 13-story treehouse. It's got like a pool that has man-eating sharks in it. It's got a secret lab. They have a machine that will shoot marshmallows into your mouth whenever you're hungry. They've got a lemonade fountain. They've got just all kinds of wild and crazy things. It's fun. One of the things that they do is Terry finds a cat, paints it yellow, and turns it into a catnary. So it becomes like this flying cat, and this flying cat shows up randomly in a couple different places in the book. There's this whole saga about sea monkey eggs and how they don't necessarily turn into sea monkeys. So there's a couple different scenarios of what they turn into. But the next book is the 26-story treehouse, and then the next book is the 39-story treehouse. There's like 17 books in the series, I think. And each time they add 13 to the number of stories. It's so much fun. If you've got young kids, they will enjoy this. It is a lot of fun. I was laughing so hard. My son looked at me like, "What is your problem?" And I'm like, "But the book is so funny. You would probably like it." So there they are, the 7. 2 from the little free library, 4 from the actual library, and 1 that I actually bought from Amazon. I'll put my Amazon stuff in the description box in case anybody's interested, but seriously, it's not necessary. I am planning on doing, once I read book 2, a video about, right now it's only 2 books, so I don't know if it's going to be more than a duology or if it's going to just stay a duology. The Camp Murderface books. I read the first one and it was so much fun, and then my audiobook for the second one had to go back, and I just finally re-downloaded it, but I have something a video I need to watch to get sent back to the library because it's overdue. Oops. So once I'm done with that, then I'll read the book, but hopefully this weekend that will happen. And I want to do a little video on that because I've never even heard of them until I saw them pop up on my library homepage. And I thought, oh, that sounds cool. So I checked them out, and I found the audio on Hoopla, and I've been listening to them and reading them. It took a while for them to come from the library, and then by the time I finally got them and was able to listen, book 2 got sent back audio-wise, and I had to wait till the first of the month for the new one, for my new set of borrows, because I had already used up the 10 that were allotted through our library. And for those who don't know about Hoopla, it's through your library. Not all libraries have it, I guess, but it is through the library, and your library can set how many borrows their patrons are allowed. I guess it's like the library pays so much, and that allows their patrons then like 5 borrows or 10 borrows or whatever. Sometimes you can get extra borrows if Hoopla is running a thing where, these books you can borrow and they won't count against you. It won't count against your allotment. I have found some that way, which is pretty cool. For the most part, though, I end up using up my allotment, and there have been months where I didn't use it at all, and then I'm finding that sometimes if there's a really long wait on Overdrive, which is the other one my library has, then I can find it on Hoopla. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I find things on Hoopla that Overdrive doesn't have. So for us, our Overdrive, it's also Libby. Libby is the same company. It's basically the same app. I think there's slight functionality differences. I'm just used to Overdrive, so I haven't switched over to Libby. It doesn't give me any extra borrows or anything, so, there's no point. But with Overdrive, for us living in Ohio, it is through the Ohio Digital Library. So pretty much if any of the member libraries of the Ohio Digital Library have that book, it gets put in the mix, and then sometimes you'll have books that have like 20 copies because 20 different libraries own it. Other times there's one copy for the whole state, and you may have, several hundred people waiting in line for that particular book. Sometimes they'll have the ebook and not the audio, and if you'll request it, and they may or may not obtain it, depends on how many requests they get for it. Sometimes they won't have all of a series. They'll have like 3, 6, and 8 of a series, and you're wanting to read books 1 and 2 before you read book 3. So it's kind of random. Sometimes they'll have just the first book of a series, but when you request the others, they're like, no, we're not going to get that, even though it's a series. So, yeah, you never know. And sometimes Hoopla will have stuff that, you can't get elsewhere, so that's pretty cool. And then, of course, there's always the books that are, like, Audible only, so I hate when they do that, because not everybody can afford to pay for Audible. Right now, I can't, so I don't. I have to make do with what my library has, and they've got a really good selection, so that's pretty cool. Do y'all want to see what I've got out from the library? They're kind of scattered all over the place. Right now, let's see what I've got. I've got, some of these were on the last time I did a library haul. All 13, which is a Newbery book. Last Call, which is a true crime LGBT book. James Patterson, Escape. James Patterson, 22 Seconds, which is the newest of the Women's Murder Club. Music is History by Questlove, which I've had out forever. I really need to either return it or listen to it, but I think I'm almost back to getting the audio again. So that's one that confuses me. Overdrive did, a couple months ago, that was their big read, and everybody was eligible to get the audiobook at that time. And I got it, but by the time I got the actual print copy, my audio had gone back before I could listen to it, And it has taken forever for me to get back to getting it. And I still don't have it yet, but I'm like within a couple people now. So hopefully I'll get it before I have to take the book back. The Third Rainbow Girl is a true crime. Columbine, a true crime based on the Columbine shooting. Sue Grafton, Q is for Quarry. I'm still waiting on P is for Peril to come as an audio, but I've got the Q one, so I might read Q and then go back and pick up P. I don't know. My Heart is a Chainsaw. The Girl from Raw Blood by Catriona Ward. Don't know anything about it, but I got the 2 of her books randomly that came in the mail. I did at the end of one of my videos. Well, this is another book by that author, and I have the audio so I can actually listen to that one. A Wish in the Dark, which is a Newbery one that I've had for a while. I need to get to it. Some Beverly Cleary books. Dear Mr. Henshaw, which I think is a Newbery book. And I've got 4 of the Ramona books. Ramona Quimby, age 8, Ramona and her father, Ramona the Pest, Beezus and Ramona. 2 of those are on the 1001 children's books list, and 2 of those are on the Newbery list. Anne Rule, Small Sacrifices. I'm around halfway through Happy Go Lucky by David Sedaris, and I'm loving it. One of the essays I have read before. It was in one of his previous books or something. I've read it before. So I was surprised that it was recycled so quickly, because it's a fairly recent one. And then I've got Patricia Cornwell. I picked up Portrait of a Killer, Jack the Ripper, Case Closed, and Ripper. Which are essentially the same book, but Ripper is the newer edition, so it has more of her investigation into Walter Sickert, the artist that she says was Jack the Ripper. White Fang, and the Can't Murder Face books. Yeah, that's all the library books. So, plenty to read. I just need to sit down and do it. Still taking part in the Tower Teams challenge on Goodreads. We're about a month and a half in now. We've got like a month and a half left, 6 weeks. So we're getting there. My team is like smack in the middle. I always end up in the team that's right in the middle. Getting a lot of reading done. I have slowed down a little bit because I was getting ahead. If we go over a set number of books for our team, then they start penalizing us for each book we go over. And I estimated 25 books a month, and I've been reading closer to 30 plus books a month. So I'm trying to, kind of slow down a little bit. Some of the books won't count, so that's fine. But most of the books I've been reading do count, so there's that. In the A Million More Pages group on Goodreads, we're getting ready to have our Alice in Wonderland readathon, which you don't have to read anything Alice in Wonderland unless you want to. There is a task that's, or read Alice in Wonderland, because it's read a genre of the month, or a book of the month, which we don't do anymore, or a mod rec, or something on our group bookshelf, which basically all the mod recs are on the bookshelf, and all the book of the months that we had in the past are on that bookshelf. So I might just change the wording and say, something off that bookshelf, or read a specific book for whatever the theme is. September we're doing vampires, so the book is Dracula. And then November we're doing holiday movies as the theme, and the book choice is A Christmas Carol. Because, gee whiz, how many million versions of Christmas Carol are there out there movie-wise? It's one of my favorites, but, you know. Anyway, the stuff I've got coming up. I'm still trying to decide if I'm doing Summerween. I need to watch the video again. I can't even remember offhand who had the video. Was it Gabby Reed's? Maybe? I don't remember. I'm thinking about maybe that. I don't know yet. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, it's just things and stuff. It's 8 o'clock, almost 8:15 in the evening, so I need to eat my dinner and watch some of my videos that need to go back. And one of them is the movie Cyrano that's got... I just blanked on the dude's name. Peter Dinklage. I think that's who it is. It's one of the smaller people. I think it's Peter Dinklage as the lead. I need to watch that, and I've got the last disc of season 1 of Supernatural. Finally, I'm watching Supernatural. How long was it out before it is off the air now, and I'm just now watching it? And I have the reboot season of Dexter. I guess it's not really a reboot. I don't know, whatever the hell they were doing. They ruined Dexter with season 8. That season just, it was terrible. And this is like after all that, when he is now in, was it upstate New York or wherever he went as a logging guy, and haven't watched it yet, but that needs to go back, so I need to watch it. I did watch season 3 of Stranger Things finally. Now I gotta wait for the DVDs to come out and go to the library for season 4, since it just came out recently. I'm only a season behind. I'm at least kind of close on Stranger Things. Supernatural, I've only watched the first season. And not even all of that. I still got 3 or 4 episodes to go. So, you know. Anyway. Still looking for a job. It just kills me how all these people are like, there's all these jobs out there, but nobody wants to work. And then my son and I are both looking, and we can't get anybody to call us back. We'll put in applications and we can't get any response whatsoever. We did go to a manufacturing job for him at an aluminum plant, and she's like, unfortunately, we just had new people start today. So we're not really looking at the moment, but we will keep your application on file, because we do sometimes people work a couple weeks and decide it's just not for them, especially in the heat of summer when they're working in an area that's like 130 degrees and 100 degree weather outside. It's too much for some people and they end up leaving, but she'll keep him in mind. She did interview him on the spot, so there's at least that. It sounded like she would have hired him if they hadn't already just hired like 5 people. And she's like, I've got 1 extra already. I can't really hire another extra at the moment. But when something does open, you know, she's at least got him on file. So I've got a couple leads. I guess I'm going to finally break down and get the COVID vaccine. Haven't done it yet. But I did apply for a receptionist type job at the urgent care, and they won't even interview me until I get proof that I've been vaccinated. So I think that's what we're doing, probably Tuesday. Go in and get the shot, and I also want to get the shingles vaccine, and they don't allow you to do that until you turn 50. Even though I have already had shingles, and I was much younger than 50 when I had it. They were like, nope, you can't get it until you can't get the vaccine until you're 50, even though my doctor told me to get it. And I'm like, you do realize that they won't let me have the vaccine, right? And they're like, well, they should, you've already had. I'm like, well, according to the health department, I'm not eligible to get it until I turn 50. Now I'm 50. I see all these YouTubers, booktubers, complaining about how they're so old and they just turned 30, and I'm like, yeah, I'm old enough to be your mom. Let's not go there. But at least now I'm eligible to get that, so if I go to the health department, hopefully I can do that Tuesday. I can get my little card saying I got vaccinated, and I can fax that to the HR people and maybe get on at the urgent care. I don't know. It's been 20 plus years. Let's see, my son's 22, so 25 years since I worked in a medical job. I did work about a month, I think, in an urgent care because it was a temp position. I don't know, 3-4 weeks there, and then I ended up working medical records at the hospital for a few months. And as they were getting ready, they had me fill out the stuff. They were going to hire me, and the one girl that was leaving that they were going to hire me for that position decided she wasn't moving, so they're like, oh, well, we're not going to hire you now because she's not leaving. I was just like, seriously? That sucked. And, you know, on top of that, see ya, you're no longer temping here because we're giving her the position you're doing because we already moved somebody into her spot. And I was like, seriously? You took my job away from me that you were hiring me to do to give it to somebody else? Yeah. I didn't give her my passwords or anything. I was just like, screw this. I was pissed. I was like, fine. I walked out the door. And then I got a bunch of crappy jobs where it was like, you know, a week here answering phones, a week there doing data entry, where it was like almost no data entry and almost all phones, when they told me it was going to be almost all data entry and no phones. It was completely the opposite of what they told me. So I contacted them. I said, I'll finish off the week, but I do not want to stay here. This is not at all the job you told me it was, because you told me it was going to be data entry with very little phones, and it's almost all phones and very little data entry. So totally misrepresented the job. I said, I will stay till the end of the week so you can find somebody else to put here, but I'm not staying. And I told the supervisor there, I said, I told him I'd stay to the end of the week, but she goes, but we just trained you. I said, yes, but the job was completely misrepresented to me. It's not at all what I was told it was going to be. And I'm not a big fan of being on the phone constantly. I mean, yes, I know as a receptionist, that's part of the job, but at least I'm walking in knowing that's part of the job. Where when I'm told it's going to be data entry and it's almost none of that, you misrepresented the job. I don't want to stay in a job that I'm not comfortable in. And it was just like, ugh. Anyway, whatever. I do have that as an option. I'm looking at applying to University of Rio Grande, working in their Meigs County location. I was an adjunct for them before I graduated from there, so I have a shot, maybe. They're looking for an evening person to come in at like 1 p.m. and stay till 9 to lock up. I can do that. You're not going to get very many phone calls in the evening. It's mostly going to be the students coming in and out and making sure that, you know, things are okay. I can do that, and then if they needed somebody to pull as an adjunct, they can pull me to cover some of the remedial English type classes like reading and learning strategies and intro to writing, which is what I covered when I was an adjunct previously. So, you know, there's that. That's an advantage for them, that I've already worked for them, and they know I can do the teaching part if they would need somebody, and that would be a separate job. All they're looking for is like the nighttime secretary. So there's that. I'm going to apply for that. Hopefully that pans out. I just found out when we were going to the aluminum factory for my son to apply there, we discovered that there's a Dollar Tree Family Dollar location just down from our house. It's been there since like October, the girl said, because I asked her if they were hiring, and she's like, I don't know, maybe there might be an associate or an assistant manager job opening up soon. So there's that possibility. And I said, well, how long have y'all been here? And she goes, I think we opened in like October. Like, how did I not know you were here? I just live almost across the street. I mean, like the other side of the school parking lot and across the street. So, didn't even know they were there. I knew about the Dollar General, which is the other direction from our house, but did not know that there was a Family Dollar / Dollar Tree, because it's one of those hybrid ones which they're doing now. I don't understand that myself, because the Dollar Tree portion, they've got the Family Dollar stuff mixed in, so you can't really tell what's what. I don't know, it was mixed up. And then it was like their freezer section, only the first couple segments of freezers had stuff in them, and like probably 2/3 of the wall was empty. One of the freezers was making really weird noises. So I can see why that was empty, because maybe there's an issue with that particular unit and it's not keeping stuff cold or whatever. But all the rest of it was completely empty, and that's why I thought maybe they were new. And she's like, we've been here since like October. They had a lot of empty shelves. So that could be because nobody knows they're there. Even the stuff they had marked down on clearance was still more expensive than what it was worth. So yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, that's where we are now. We're both looking for stuff, and this heat, the heat, it's terrible. I was actually cold last week. It was highs in the low 80s. It was nice. And I actually got cold with the fan blowing on me, because we don't have air conditioning. Yay. This week it's been in the upper 80s, maybe hitting 90. I don't know if it hit 90 today or not, but it was definitely upper 80s. And I could tell, I mean, the air conditioning in the car went out as well. The only thing we've got working is we cannot change functions. It's only the defrost. So we turn that. The only thing we can control right now is the temperature. So we turn it on to the defrost, which is the one where it's blowing on the windshield and feet. And we turn it to the coldest temperature. We cannot adjust the fan speed, because that was the first one that went out. And now the one where you select functions went out. So the only dial that's left that works is selecting the temperature. And of course, you can't afford to fix it right now. So, yeah. At least I did manage to replace the tire, but now I'm just like, what do I do? What do I do? I got too many things that need fixed and not enough to fix them. Kind of sucks. Anyway, enough of that. That's boring stuff. Y'all don't watch these to hear me gripe about not having any money, because none of us have any money, We're all suffering from the price increases and the crazy gas prices and everything else. And it's worldwide, it's not just here. So everybody who's blaming one particular person, no, it's not one particular person that's causing the problem. But I don't want to get into politics, because if I get started on that, that's a whole other can of worms that y'all don't need to hear about. Anyway, we're coming up on 45 minutes here, so I'm going to say goodbye, end this here. Remember to do all the YouTube things, comment, like, share, subscribe, ring the bell icon to be notified of future uploads. Maybe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.